I know you're into, I don't know, will we call them conspiracy theories? I don't know.
Coincidence theories.
Coincidence theories. I got to tell you, I would say if you asked me pre-COVID about any of these things, I'd be like, no. Mm-hmm. After COVID, I'm like, okay, all right. I'm much closer to the tinfoil hat wearing. I tell people I don't have a tinfoil hat; it's a tinfoil yarmulke. It's not as big as a hat, but it's still made out of foil and it's still in my head. And now I'm just starting to realize everything seems to be about money. Everything's just like follow the money. Like everything ends up just being money.
Money and control.
In control.
People in power, they spend all their time doing things that will keep their power. No one wants to lose their power. So whatever it takes to keep the power, it's just the human condition. And it seems like this world is run by evil forces. It doesn't seem like good people are in control of the world. It seems like it's evil. I'm always trying to sort of negotiate that in my head. Like when I sort of think about politicians and people, like, is George Soros evil, or does he just have a way of looking at life that's sort of different than I might look at life? Or even like Gavin Newsom, like he's been in here. I've interviewed him. He has a 10-cent head, and he's kind of a sociopath. But is he bad? Like, is he evil, or does he just have a bunch of fucking ideas that end up causing very negative outcomes? Because at a certain point, people get killed with shit policy, but I can't figure out like what's the end game? Like, because they end up kissing their kids goodnight every night. They're family oriented and they like music. And what is it? Who is evil? Like, who are we talking about here? And there's people that, people on the left think Trump is evil. And then people on the right think Obama's evil. But are they evil? Like, everyone has kids and wants to drink a glass of wine and watch a sitcom like at night. Like, what is it? I think it's just a combination of a couple things. Keeping your power, money. There could be a lot of, compromising going on and blackmailing going on. That's how you can take a good guy who loves his family, loves his kids, but man, he got caught in some stuff and now he's got shit on him and now he's got to fucking listen to what they say. That's generally how, you would run an organization that was built on acquiring as much power as possible. Just like you take it down to street level, that's how gangs run. Gangs. Like if you want to join a gang, in a general sense, you're going to have to do something really bad that they have something on you. Like if you kill someone and they see that you got a body on you now, they could trust you now. Mm-hmm. They know because you got a body. And what are you going to do? You're going to tell on us? You got a body. So I think there's a lot of that. It's just mafia stuff, like mafia tactics. I think like the way the cartel runs in Mexico and in the United States too, I think there's a bigger cartel that is using the same style of tactics.
So you think of like the Obamas, and you just go, what's going on? Like, they have money, they have power, they have influence. But the weird thing about a lot of these people is I never hear them saying certain things. Like, it'd be great if both Obamas just said, listen, we're not living in a racist country. Now everyone get the fuck to work. It's fine. It's an even playing field. Like, let's all do this. You don't have to worry about that. But they never do. It's always just sort of hustle. Like, it's always the same conversation I hear from them.
Yeah, but it's the people that are in power. There's a reason why they're in power. They have a job to do. And if they didn't want to do the job, they would not be in power. So the people with the power in this world, they're really smart. They know how to manipulate the masses with psyops. There's psyops going on all the time, and the news is basically just propaganda.
Well, yeah, I mean, take something like COVID. Like, I knew something was going on. So I knew something was wrong with COVID super early.
Yeah.
And I pointed it out, and I got vocal about it. And it struck me that there was a pattern, and the pattern was sort of interrupted, and I knew something was missing. Like for me, like I'm pattern oriented, and I wasn't hearing the ages of the deaths, and they were keeping the ages out of the news, and it bothered me, and it bumped me, and so I would start talking about it, and so I caught on early that this was something, and then it was like lab leak versus wet market, and all this stuff, and also it's interesting. It's all stuff I was yelling into the microphone about, but whenever there's a pandemic or something like AIDS, they always go to Africa, because what I'm saying is AIDS is relatively bad in the United States, but it's horrible in Africa. Right? Like everything's always worse in Africa. So they always go to Africa if there's something going wrong.
I mean, it all depends on what you think AIDS is.
Oh, well, now we're getting really deep. But I'm just going to say, I didn't hear any COVID talk out of Africa. There was no discussion. There was what's going on in Spain, what's going on in Italy.
And the presidents in the countries in Africa that opposed the COVID mandates, they got killed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear.
I think there was 3 of them. They got killed. They were against it.
They weren't. So I didn't hear any horror stories about Africa. And then I realized it's because they're all young. It's because they're all fit. Like they're not heavy. They're not old, and a lot of them are on hydroxychloroquine. So they're on something already, and they're young and they're fit, and that's why it's not decimating that population. But I had things that were like indicators to me that made me think this is bullshit, or this is what's going on. Now, I don't know. Was it all just about an election year? Like, what was pushing COVID? Like, and how did all the news agencies get bought in and corrupted? Is that all pharmaceuticals?
I don't know for sure. I wasn't in the meetings, but it's obvious that a lot of countries were working together on this. They were in lockstep. There was a plan. And they were talking about it, like people like, deep in the rabbit holes, myself included. I mean, we saw this coming before. We're like, damn, are they going to do a pandemic? Are they going to do a pandemic? They're going to do it. Check this out. They already started in Wuhan. They're going to do a pandemic. Like a fake one. I think it was all fake. I don't think I think it was just the flu. People that had the exact same symptoms. It was the exact same thing. And I think it was all fake. They just hijacked the flu. And because if this was real, jiu-jitsu would have been wiped out. We were the opposite of social distancing, and we never stopped. I have over 200 schools worldwide. We didn't have one person dying, and we're doing the opposite of what they told us to do. We're sweating and dripping every 8 minutes, a new man. And a new dude, just sweating, not just getting close, but squeezing as hard as you can, and not one death. And I mentioned that to Dr. Peter McCullough. He's like, super anti the jab, but he thinks it was like a real thing. And I asked him,
what was a real thing?
He thinks COVID was real. And so I asked him on Alex Jones show, I go, then why didn't nobody in jiu-jitsu, nobody in the UFC, nobody in NFL, nobody in any sport, how come nobody in jiu-jitsu, how come nobody in my schools died? And we did the opposite. And he said, because you developed immunity. I go, if that's true, then why didn't the beginners die? The beginner should have died.
Yeah. Well,
so you sign up for jiu-jitsu, and then you're immune. Why didn't they just tell everybody, sign up for jiu-jitsu? As soon as you sign, you're immune. Nobody died.
It never affected young and healthy and strong people.
The flu kills people. The flu kills old people. Old people that have 4 comorbidities.
Right.
And that's what they found. At the end of the day, they found it, and then nobody died of the flu for 2 years.
Right.
Come on.
No,
and then the PCR tests are bullshit. They're not checking for viruses. It was all bullshit. The guy who invented the PCR test, he said it was bullshit. He said Dr. Fauci's full of shit. He said it was all the tests were bullshit. Like, you got COVID and you weren't even sick. They go, oh, you got COVID. I'm like, I guess I get COVID, but I'm not even sick.
So did we just mobilize like? So you go, so then what happened? So you go, all right, so somebody comes up with the phrase Black Lives Matter, and then the next thing you know, Kmart has an aisle dedicated to Black Lives Matter because they're just mobilizing. They're just doing what they do. The people who make masks. I was leaving a hotel this morning, and I looked down and I saw that round sticker that said safe distance or stand here or whatever. That's fucking bullshit. I know, but it's good business for the people who print those things and make those stickers. And it's a good business for the mask people, and it's good business for Purell, and it's good business for CNN. Like, is everyone else just following in on the business side of it?
Yeah, that's definitely happening. But I think the people with the power, call them whatever you want, the elite, Illuminati, deep state, whatever you want to call them, it doesn't matter. The people running this shit, they're not part of a country. They're part of the whole world, and they're all working together. And it's probably, I'm pretty sure, I wouldn't, if you had them all in one big room, I'm pretty sure international bankers will be in there. I'm pretty sure like whoever owns like the biggest media companies and newspaper publications, like the biggest, like the big ones, I'm sure they'll be in that room.
So is this sort of like climate change, and that there's just tons of people who profit from this shit?
It's all bullshit. Yeah,
I know, it's all bullshit, but there's just so much money. It's so much money. Like, you take a look, you take something like climate change and you go, okay, that's trillions and trillions of dollars. Nothing ever comes out the other end. It's basically the end, the non-governmental
tax. They wanted the carbon tax.
Right.
Oh, that was, that got us closer to world government. The ultimate goal, and it's always been this. Even back in Roman times, the ultimate goal was one world government.
Right. They're always pushing for this, like the Paris climate summit and stuff. The Accord. We're all going to join the UN. We're all going to join the Paris climate summit. Like, we're all going to join. And
like, they really care. Right. Oh, they care so much. Why the hell are you guys spraying chemtrails everywhere? You claim it. That's the real climate change. The climate change, they're causing it.
Yeah. So it's like, they fly privately to Davos and do the fucking big climate change thing and all this. Yeah, I know, but it's kind of on us as citizens, because when I started mouthing off about COVID super early on, everyone just attacked me, and I'm like, you fucking pussies, you fucking cowards, what the fuck are you attacking me for? I'm trying to spread a little truth around here, and you're all coming at me. And by the way, you don't work for Pfizer or Upjohn. You're just a citizen, and you're using your voice to attack another citizen who happens to be truthful about this, and I'm speaking up about it.
They're defending big pharma. It's unbelievable.
Fucking It's like, it's pathetic. By the way, people want to know, and I'm online calling these people cowards and pussies every 10 minutes. Fuck you. You deserve everything you get, you fucking cowards.
Yeah.
You did this. And if you don't want to do it, then fucking apologize and shut up when the next thing comes down the pike. Sit it out, fucking know-it-all.
Yeah.
But you fucking cowards and pussies, you caved to this because you were scared. Not of COVID, you're scared of the mob.
Yeah.
They all were scared of the fucking mob.
Yeah.
And the big, I had Newsweek writing an article about me and shit like that. They're fucking cowards. They're all wrong. They never retract anything. They were wrong about everything. But I don't know if they're just wrong or they're just lying, or they attack Joe Rogan about horse paste or whatever the fuck that is.
They're all working together. They're all working. It's like the mafia. It really is.
Right, but you'll just cash out your dignity for nothing? Like Sanjay Gupta, you just fucking cash your reputation, your dignity for nothing, for a couple of bucks, a fucking paycheck from CNN. It's sad.
He got eviscerated, though, on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Well, he should have.
That was incredible.
Well, first off, when you're lying, it's really hard to wiggle your way out of it. You know what I mean? When you're just fucking lying. And that's all he did, and that's all CNN did. And that's all Newsweek did, to me, they're fucking attacking me. I told everyone I sent a tweet out pretty early saying, look, the only people dying of this thing are old people and sick people, and the rest of you
just like the flu.
Rest of you pussies got played.
Just like the flu.
And everyone fucking turned on me.
All they did is put the flu on the bench, and they took over, and they made up some new shit. And all that, in my opinion, all that gain of function research thing at these virology labs and go, oh, look, they created. I'm like, in my opinion, they didn't create shit. If they could create, if they did, oh man, what a terrible job you did. You got the same numbers as the flu. You go, what a terrible job. Right. What a terrible job you did. But to me, they're just, in my opinion, I think all those emails and all that stuff, or the money's just being stolen. They're not actually working on trying to create a virus that could kill a bunch. They want people to believe that they're doing that. They want it. That's why they push it now. Now they go, because in the beginning, they wanted everyone arguing between what did it come from, a bat, or did it come from an evil scientist? Some people say, oh, it came from an evil scientist. Look, there's money going to virology labs. And then they go, no, we got to really believe that it came from a bat. They wanted you to argue because both of them basically imply that it's real. Right. It's real, and that you're going to need the vaccine. So whatever one you believe, you're going to need the vaccine. Instead of, dude, it's just the flu.
Yeah, listen.
The homeless would have been wiped out. They say the homeless would have been. They go, why didn't the homeless get wiped out? Oh, because, again, like the jiu-jitsu thing, because they're immune. Go, wait a minute. So you either wash your hands 10 times a day, or you don't wash at all, and you'll be fine. That doesn't make any sense.
I know.
That doesn't make any sense. The homeless would have been wiped the fuck out. They would have been the first to go, and jiu-jitsu would have gone. If I would have had 2 people die of COVID on me, I would have quit. Right. I would say, oh shit, this is real. Right. But it's not real. Nobody died. Not one person.
No, not one healthy person.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was sweating on each other and smashing each other.
Listen.
we would have all been dead if that was real.
Thanks for tuning into the Adam Carolla Show. You can watch the full show on YouTube. Just search Adam Carolla Show and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can also get the podcast wherever you like to listen. And for extra content, ad-free episodes, and more, you can head over to our Substack and sign up today. Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but gonna manage to get it on. Big Ed from 90 Day Fiancé is in studio. A lot of fans around here. Dr. Drew's a huge 90 Day Fiancé fan. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, yeah. I did not know that.
You did not? Pull that mic nice and close to you.
Close like that right here.
There you go.
Scoot up.
How did it all start? How did you get recruited to do that show?
Okay, what a good question. So I never heard of the show, and I met a girl on Facebook, Rose, and I was FaceTiming with her probably for about 4 months, and she wanted me to come for her birthday, so I bought a ticket, posted it online on Facebook. Sorry, can I say Facebook?
Say whatever you like.
There you go. So I posted on Facebook, and my buddy Rich, who's my ride home, he brought me up here. He sent me the link, and I filled it out like a lotto ticket. And basically, a 54-year-old in love with a 23-year-old with a 31-year-old daughter. And within 2 hours, they were texting me, "We want to talk to you." And the next morning at 7:30, my phone rings, and like, "Hey, I'm a producer. Can we take a look at your social media?" And I've been dancing on pool tables in a Nacho Libre costume for 12 years ago. I was
Nacho Libre,
big fan. So I'm a card. I'm a kind of a crazy entertainer guy. And they're like, oh, they just struck gold, So short story long, I get on the show.
Everyone just wants to look at everyone's social media just to see what good and bad, what they're up to.
Yeah, right? Absolutely, yeah.
Part of Aryan Nazi youth or culture or something. They want to know that, but they want the fun stuff, Nacho Libre on pool tables.
Yeah, everything and above. So didn't have a lot of followers, maybe had 350 followers. But, everybody on there I actually knew. So I ended up, saying I'll do the show. I had to move my trip up. They come to San Diego, they show up with cameras, and, I'm a little bit freaked out. And I go, what do I do? And they're like, well, don't make, can I cuss or no?
Do whatever you want.
Okay, good. So they're like, don't make shit up and don't look at the camera. And that's all the direction I ever got. So and we're often, and I lived in San Diego. I'm an architect, designer.
Architect, designer.
Yeah. So
I'm going to punch my staff. So I said, what's Big Ed do? And they said, photographer.
Yeah. So the show, so that was part of my life, but it was more exciting than, being an architect, right?
Not to this podcast host. I like architecture.
Well, thank you so much. And by the way, I love your studio, and I love Evil Knievel.
I architected and designed it. What do you? So you do like residential stuff, commercial stuff? Like what's your
So
stuff?
I did more German. It was called German Room Concept. So we did high-end kitchens, and then I mainly did loft design, like open space. So I did everything soup to nuts from the floor, to the ceiling. I would order, 8-foot Italian tile, and which drove the owner of the company crazy, because if that stuff cracked in shipping and you're on schedule, it would throw the whole project off. So so I'm a professional designer working in Little Italy in San Diego. There's no parking.
You guys got a Little Italy over there.
Yeah, we do.
We don't have one in LA.
You need one.
I cannot see us ever getting a Little Italy, because that's just basically a white person and we're the target, and no one's gonna. We have a Little Ethiopia.
Oh yeah.
We don't have a Little Italy.
Yes.
Well, there's nobody who would ever push for a Little Italy. That would be a hate crime.
Well, if you're ever in San Diego, it's a conglomerate of really good restaurants. In fact, Riza is one of my favorite. I have an event there tonight, actually.
So you're doing architecture and design, and you say lofts, but you mean like the kind of working, like, there's these open floor plan sort of work-live spaces now?
Yeah, kind of everything and above. So in San Diego, we have I did a lot of high rises. So you go and it's an open plan. And I would put up walls. I would take down walls.
So you're doing in those high-end kitchens?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how you could spend how much on one of those kitchens pretty easily?
Oh, a kitchen alone, $300.
$300K.
Yeah, you're looking at Gagnow, Thermador, Miele.
Yeah,
the appliances alone are $50,000.
Right, and then the surfaces, the cabinetry, blah blah blah. I mean, you could spend $300,000 on a kitchen.
Easy, yeah. And for me, it was good because that was all commission. So,
and you're getting the large cast tile.
Yes.
On there from Italy.
Yes.
You got to think. What's it like to set tile when the tile is 4 foot wide and 8 foot long and a 1/2 inch thick? Like, you have to set that tile like that. That's a bit of a chore. I think it's going to involve suction cups.
Yeah, it's incredible. So there was a remodel I did in Del Mar, and it was a single slab of soapstone, and the thing was probably 60 by 120, one solid piece.
All right, so hold on. 5 foot by 10 foot. Nobody knows anything anymore. They don't know numbers or inches or millimeters. No one fucking knows anything. So you have to go 5 foot by 10 foot.
Correct. So it's an island.
10 foot one, because it's some metric number. But anyway,
go ahead. An island with the sink cut out. It took 10 guys to lift that thing and set it in place.
So it's a giant island.
Yeah, and they put down this like glue, and they just set it. Mastic, yeah, like a type of glue.
Mastic.
Yeah, so I tell them, look, I'm just the designer. I don't know how you do it. I just design it.
Yeah, but that's a cool job.
It is, yeah. A lot of fun.
Yeah, and creative, and I get it. And also, something we're missing philosophically is when you get to walk into a space that's empty oftentimes, just a slab, like especially if you're doing commercial space, you're doing a high rise, it's just a slab on the floor. And then when you leave, you see a $300,000 kitchen with soapstone and an Italian Carrara marble and Miele and Gagano and all that. And you look at it and you go, that's what I do. That's what I do. If you just do data entry all day, you never have that finished feeling.
And that's why although I have a master's in architecture, I never wanted to do architecture. I wanted to be with my clients. I would walk into a space and I would know within 5 or 10 minutes what I was going to do. But you can't let the cat out of the bag. You got to ask them, hey, so, what ideas do you have? And and you have to listen to them because it's part of the design, part of the whole process. But then as I'm listening to them, I already know what I'm going to do. So I'm trying to figure out how am I going to guide them down this path, because we have a saying in architecture: you have people with money and no vision, and people with vision and no money.
Right.
And I'm one of those. I have vision and no money.
Right.
But it's a lot of fun. I would have all gamuts of clients, from the people that would try to nickel and dime you, to the people that would just hand me their credit card and go, okay, we need to select your appliances. Okay, I trust you. You know, they're in Mexico City, or they have a place in Coronado. Those were my favorite kind of clients. I'm like, hey, we need a faucet. Ed, go find me a faucet. Those are the best kind of clients to have.
That trust your eye.
Absolutely.
In your experience. So 90 Day Fiancé, they have you as a photographer.
Yeah. Well, we did film in my showroom, by the way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we did. There was a small snippet, but I got into photography years ago. I started. My daughter was when she was young, I would do studio pictures of her, and then I fell in love with the idea of having a space where you could control everything from the lighting, to the backdrop or whatever. So I started to do. I got into fashion photography. I started to do covers. I did a lot of. I did a show one time. It was called Recycled Fashion in Contemporary Form, where I had a friend that owned a retro shop, and I would go in and she would sometimes just rent me these really cool dresses, and then I would put really cool colored backgrounds, and then I would have this.
I mean, you're a creative.
Yes,
I would say
pretty much.
But you had to leave the country to find a bride.
You would be surprised how, and I just heard this the other day, that the two hardest cities to meet someone is, believe it or not, San Diego and New York. And you would think that there are so many beautiful women that it would be easy. But my whole thing with Rose was I could meet a girl in the bar.
She's from where? Sorry.
Philippines.
Philippines, yes.
So I could be in a local bar in San Diego and meet a beautiful woman or not. But I could do more for Rose in a third, or I call it a fourth world country. I could do more for Rose and her son than I could meeting anyone in a local bar. So I wanted to meet somebody young. I wasn't having very much success, in San Diego. So, and I literally figured, what the heck? I'm making some money. I meet this girl on Facebook. First of all, I thought I would never meet her to begin with. I'm like, oh, this is kind of a pipe dream. We would talk, but then I got to know her and her dad and her family and her son. I'm like, okay.
She lives in the Philippines.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Right outside of Manila.
Good, because that's the only place I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
In the Philippines.
Did you know this about the Philippines?
Oh, Bangkok, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. That's what she said. There's over 7,000 islands in the Philippines.
I had no idea.
I went to one of them. I went to Phuket.
So now, all right, let's see if we can break this down. I think when people think of guys going to these places and getting these young, beautiful women, the assumption is well, they're using you because they want to come to America. They want what you have. They want this lifestyle. And I think to some extent, that's true, but to some extent, that's sort of all relationships.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's kind of interesting. I'm a guy. I live here. I make a lot of money. I didn't have to go to the Philippines, but I still had to fucking pay for everything, and I feel like I got used.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And by the way, when she leaves, not that would happen, they take everything.
Yeah, no.
Right?
Yeah. So
I knew. Look, I knew, because everybody was like, "Oh my God, she's just using you." I'm like, "Of course she is."
Yeah. But everyone
who would want a better life for them and their son?
Everyone uses everyone. Look, okay, let's just say you look like a male model and you live here, and then you date someone else who's a model. Well, it's still an aesthetic. I mean, it still looks like there's a money used, there's a look used.
Yeah.
I mean, you're using them for their aesthetic.
Yep.
That's a form of use. Like, everything's a form of use. Like, everybody who works for you is using you, and you're using them.
Yes.
They're here because they're getting paid.
Yes.
They wouldn't show up if you weren't paying them.
Right.
So it's like this, I think we break it down too far. I mean, I used to tell people all the time, like, that girl's only talking to you because you're on TV. I'd go, that's why I got on TV.
Right.
I mean, that's how it works. It makes it easier.
Right.
George Clooney's wife married him because he's George Clooney.
Yeah.
And then he married her because she's skinny and hot. And that's how the world works. And I think how it's always worked.
Yeah.
So you can't find that in San Diego. So you got to go across the street to the Philippines.
Yeah. But I had a lot of friends through my life that were just friends that are girls, but never wanted to, cross, that romantic line. And then I would have my occasional, one night stands or whatever. But I just felt that because of her situation that, I could somehow trust her more because I went through like everybody, I went through a bad divorce and it messed me up. I was single for 28 years. I didn't want to be in an emotional relationship because it messed me up.
You have an acquired taste as far as an aesthetic goes.
Yes, sir.
A short neck.
Yes. What?
Ish, whatever.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm 5 foot tall.
5 foot even.
5 foot even.
Yeah, and a stout, husky build.
Yes.
So, it's not exactly model material.
No, I used to be a buck. Mm-hmm. Like in high school, looked like a young Eric Estrada.
Really?
Yeah, but that went away pretty quickly. Just because of life.
Eric Estrada was quite the heartthrob when he was in Chips. Let me tell you.
Check out my high school picture. And people will comment, "Oh my God, what happened to you?" I'm like, "Thanks." People can be really honest.
Yeah, people can be brutally honest, especially online.
Oh, my God.
Because now you can say
anything you want.
Anything you want. I know, and some of it is unnecessary. Oh, look, young Eric Estrada, complete with the gold chain and the mustache and everything.
I was a young buck. Look at that. What happened?
Time catches up to all of us. I was just reading a comment. I don't know. I did a live show with Megyn Kelly and somebody.
I love her.
She's great. Somebody commented like, it was a good interview, but Adam needs to stay on the radio. Why do we need to see him? I'm like, I don't know. I was interviewing Megyn Kelly. Sorry. They put a camera up. I don't know. There's a thing called YouTube. I don't know. Do you have to sit down and compose? Do you have to sit down and go, let's see, I enjoyed the interview and I enjoyed listening to Megyn Kelly and I like the comedy stylings of Adam Carolla, but why can't he stay locked in a windowless radio booth? Why do I have to look at him? Like, I'm going to write that as a heterosexual middle-aged guy so I can push it out to the universe. Which the other thing, too, it's always weird is, I'm a comedian. I don't bill myself as a runway model. I just go, I'm a comedian. So,
well, it's funny you should say that. I have always been self-conscious, and I know I'm overweight. And seeing yourself on TV was like, I'm like, scared the shit out of me. And my friends would joke with me like, oh, well, you guys, the camera adds 10 pounds. We're like, well, how many cameras were on you? I mean, that was the kind of the running joke. But I had to be okay with being okay. You, and obviously you're very comfortable in your own skin. And
no, I don't like the way I look either. But nobody, I don't know a lot of people that see themselves on TV and go, that's good. Everyone who sees themselves on TV goes, I don't like what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's a little low self-esteem wired in there.
But if you see the women that I get to hang out with, like you get to hang out with Megyn Kelly, these are like they're 12s. They're the most beautiful women, and they, Ed, why? I'm like, why not?
You get to hang out with 12s?
Yes.
Why?
Tomorrow night or tonight, I'm going on a blind date with she's a knockout.
Oh, all right. So sorry, we gotta go back in time. What happened with 90 Day Fiance? I know you went to the Philippines, hung out with the dad, and your potential fiance. Mm-hmm. How old was her son?
He was 5 at the time.
And how old was she at the time?
23.
And how old were you at the time?
43. No, pardon me, 53.
That's different. All right, 53. And what happened? I don't know how it culminated.
Okay, so I land. How detailed? So I land. I meet her. She's beautiful, but she had the worst smelling breath.
Oh,
that
Filipino sticky rice breath.
But it was worse than that. It was like, you have no idea. In
That
fact,
can be a thing.
I kept going, hey, do you want some gum? She's like, no. I'm like, please. Like the cab ride to the hotel that night was almost unbearable. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just saying. But I'm an American, right? And I'm going to a third world country, and I come from a city where women laser their bodies. Okay?
Yes.
They have dental implants. Here I'm in the Philippines, and that kind of blew me back a little bit. And the owners of the company told me, Ed, by the way, when you meet her, you'll know within 2 minutes whether it's going to work. And I kind of did. Like I kind of really knew within 3 minutes, this is going to be temporary. Like I don't. For some reason, even though she was beautiful,
breath is. It's hard to get around.
Yes, it's impossible. I'm
trying to think. I mean, okay, here's what I'm saying.
And how do you tell somebody that they have bad breath, Adam, without being mean?
I'd fantasized about a job where a person who doesn't belong to the organization or the office, or is no way involved at all, just shows up at everyone's office place and tells everybody all the shit that everyone else who works with them doesn't want to hear.
Right.
You got bad breath. You got swamp ass. You're always fucking late.
Yeah, kind of like The Office, right?
Yeah, you say you know what I mean all the time whenever you talk. Like I'd like to live in that world. The first thing you do, I think, is you like approach it. I learned this from Dr. Drew. You approach it from a sort of medical concern.
Yeah.
Like you go, I was watching this thing on whatever Discovery, and they talked about the way a breath smelled. This also could mean there was a cancer or a disease or something like that. You should check into that or something like that. Now, is she brushing and flossing and stuff?
That's a backdoor approach. So here's what happened. She had a dental, like a implant that was removable, and she never knew to take it out and clean it. And the way I know that is about 2 weeks before I was going to go down there, I'm FaceTime with her, and she has her hand over her mouth. I'm like, what's going on? Did you get hurt?
Right.
And she said she lost her implant. So I knew she had one. So the minute I smelled it, I knew exactly what that was. They don't know. They just don't know. To take that thing out and clean it. So
all right. So that was tough.
Yeah, that was tough. And then of course, we go back to the hotel and I ended up buying her some toothpaste and mouthwash, and the producer's like, well, you're going to give that to her. I'm like, is that a good idea? They're like, yeah, I think it'd be a nice thing to do. So I give her teddy, she's like, what's a teddy? She didn't know what that was. Negligee and toothpaste. And I got killed. I got every feminist in the world coming after me like, you rotten American, how could you embarrass her? I'm like, I'm trying to save, like you just said, you can actually get heart disease from a tooth infection.
Plaque. Listen, okay, first things first. I don't know why women are allowed to critique men. Like, it is completely acceptable if they're going out for the banquet and the guy comes out and the woman goes, no, not that shirt. Go change your shirt. Go, come on now. I laid a shirt out for you. Okay, fine. We're being critiqued aesthetically. Why? I never got why that's not a two-way street.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or do I look fat in these jeans? No.
Right.
No way. No, you look amazing.
So you got destroyed online because you got her some crest.
Well, that's just the beginning. That's destroyment number one.
Did you guys make love?
Yes, we did.
Oh, okay. How was that?
Not what you expect.
Yeah.
You see somebody and you build up in your mind.
I wonder what she expected.
Oh God, it was probably worse for her. I mean, I don't know.
That could have been.
I'm saying it probably was. I mean, I wouldn't sleep with me. I'm kidding. But yeah. So we the next day. Well, she had no clothes, right? She basically showed up in jeans and shorts. She didn't have any pajamas. I'm like, well, let me buy some pajamas. So they go, okay, let's go shopping.
How was her English?
Really good. Believe it or not, really good. A lot more people know English in the Philippines than you think.
All right, so her English was good, but she was so destitute that she didn't have pajamas?
She didn't have a job. She lived in a cement room in her sister's house with no indoor plumbing, with no door. There's no doors. Yeah.
No front door?
No front door. It was a bunch of CD cases tied together. It was like a
like a flap.
Yeah, like a flap.
Couldn't snakes and stuff get in there?
Oh, don't even, probably rats.
Jesus Christ.
Probably slept with that rat I showed with. I probably
What is
slept
going
on
over there?
It's crazy. So anyways, and I'm going to talk good about her in a minute. So that happened. And then the next day, let's go shopping. They take me to a sweat market. It's 120 degrees. Okay, so I'm on camera. I get out of the cab and I'm like sweating. And I go, you guys stop. I need to change my shirt. And they're like, no way.
This is too good.
We want to, I got it. Okay, they want to see me suffer.
Right.
And I did. And so we did that. And then from there, we went to the nail salon. And she had like 5,000 boyfriends on Facebook, wouldn't tell me about her past. So Cara from my showroom's like, because she's from the Philippines, she's like, you need to make sure
Back
that.
here in San Diego.
Yeah. She goes, you need to make sure, number one, Ed, that she takes an STD test. So what do? I ask her on camera, hey, I want you to take an STD test. Here we go again. Every feminist in the world's like, you disrespectful American going to a third world country. I'm like, I don't want to die.
Right.
I don't want to get a disease. I don't want to, you know what I mean? So it just kept happening and happening. And then there was the shower scene with the rats, and then there was the pig farm. I fell in the pig farm, and then I got attacked by monkeys and whatever. So, and it was crazy. And then we, people don't know this about the show, but she was actually, they're like, they knew it wasn't working out. And I told them, I go, look, I don't think this is going to work out. So they,
What makes, beside the breath?
yeah. Well, she's like, I want more kids. I'm like, well, how many do you want? She's like, I don't know. She never answered that question. And I said, well, maybe one. I said, maybe one. But I don't think people realize how expensive it is to raise a child in America. It's very expensive. And
Well, my parents did it for free, but I know what you're talking about. I spent a lot on my kids, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking at Rose thinking she needs dental work. I'm looking at her son. Oh my God, he needs at least 10 grand, So I'm looking
Dental
at
work.
Dental work. I'm like, oh my
Everyone
God.
there needs dental work.
Exactly. So if I'm going to bring them to the U.S., the last thing I want to do is start having more babies. Let's get settled and, get a house and whatever.
Yeah, you're not
So it
a rich
scared me.
man.
No.
Has 90 Day Fiancé, are they paying okay?
They are. Most of my money I've made around the show. You heard of Cameo, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I was #1 in the world for a while.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. Not the most expensive, but
How much were you charging a cameo?
I started at 25. I topped out at 150.
150, but you're doing multiple ones a day.
I was doing 75 to 100 a day
75 to 100 a day.
for 4 months straight.
75 to 100 a day. So at $100, that's 7,500 a day.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah.
I mean, some were a little cheaper, but sometimes you did more. But
Yeah.
I mean, you're making 50 grand a week in Cameo, possibly.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. Nuts. And they told me when the producers first showed up in San Diego, by the way, you're going to be known everywhere, and you think they're feeding you a line. And they weren't. Like, they weren't. They're like, I became, so short story long, the show comes out. It didn't work out, obviously, with Rose. And so I come back to the Philippines.
Was she heartbroken?
I think she was financially heartbroken. I think she wanted the golden ticket.
She wanted, and by the way, San Diego's beautiful.
Oh my God, yeah. So I think she was more heartbroken about that. So I come back alone, and I'm like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done. I said I like The View, like I which by the way was the highest trending meme in the world for through COVID. And the way I acted, I just wasn't happy. So I just dug myself into work and just forgot about the show. Well, then
You don't think you came across well on camera?
I didn't like the way I looked.
Did they cook it, or did you just say stupid shit?
I didn't try to say, I had a producer tell me this. I went on, I think I was on my second or third season before the 90 Day. And he's like, look, what made you famous is that you didn't know what you were doing. Like you were just being who you were.
Right.
And by the way, so was Rose. And that's why Rose became such a phenomenon, because in the Philippines, she's like, this is my house.
Right.
This is my pig farm. She wasn't ashamed of who she was. And that made her an instant.
Did she get snapped up by somebody else?
Maybe. She was bisexual, which I didn't know. So she actually had on my way back from the Philippines, she was posting pictures of her and her girlfriend with matching watches or whatever. So I never was quite sure, like, I know she wanted to come to the Philippines, I know she wanted to come to America, for a better life. And I didn't tax her on that. I didn't hold that against her. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, that's why she's there.
Yeah, and for me, it's a financial responsibility that you take on, by the way, forever. When you bring someone here, the government is not going to pay for nothing.
Right.
Okay, they pay for everybody else, by the way, but they're not going to pay for you. Are financially responsible for that person. So that's a lot to take on. So that's the trade-off.
Right.
But so anyways, I bury myself in the work. The show comes out 6 months later, and the opening trailer went viral. I'm on my Vespa with my little dog Teddy, who I lost recently, or like 4 years ago. And he was in my backpack because there was no parking in Little Italy. And so I'd ride my Vespa every day with my dog. So the show sees that. They just told my story. This is everything you saw was kind of who I was and what I did. And I also, I dabbled in a little bit of not boudoir photography, but it was very, risque kind of sort of thing. But yeah, the show came out, and then COVID hit, and there was nothing on TV, and the show went viral. I mean, I was known in 166 countries. I was dubbed. If you ever heard me talk in Portuguese, like I sound like a Russian mafioso. Like
but did the American women start coming out of the woodwork after the fame hit?
Everyone. Like I went from 350 followers to 250,000 overnight, and then at my top, I think I was over 800 on Instagram.
So what's your status now?
Now I'm still single and lonely. I'm kidding. I'm at about 6 on Instagram. I'm killing it on TikTok.
Are you single person now?
Yeah, I'm single.
But you don't want to be single.
I want the right single. I mean, I want the right person.
Well, so you want a certain aesthetic.
Yes.
Well, look, I'm with you.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I wanted to date a model. Yeah. But I was driving a Isuzu Trooper, and I had 3 roommates, and I made $14 an hour on a construction site, so I didn't get any. Well, no. Here's the answer. I did get models. I had to wait like 2 years in between model years. You know what I mean? So I just waited.
Yeah.
I knew guys that just bring home somebody every night, but I wasn't interested. I wanted to wait it out. So you're picky. So now you got to wait.
Yeah.
But now the problem is you're not going to leave the country anymore. So you got to find a domestic model for you. Yeah. And that could be a waiting game.
Yeah. So somebody with poor vision and low standards. So here's the rub. If you're a single guy my age, I'm 60, and my mind is not 60. My body and the way I look is a 60-year-old body. But my mind, like I got married young. She was beautiful. It ended. I was single for so long because I was a single parent, and I was 100% single parent. Like I was not going to introduce someone to my daughter and have her have to compete for my attention. So I remained single for a reason. But then at 17, she's like, "Hey, I have a football game on Friday." I'm like, "Cool, I'm excited. I love football." "No, Dad, I have a football game." So she basically kind of broke up with me. So now I'm 38, 39. I'm single. I still want to go back to the person I fell in love. Like I want a young woman once it was too late. Like, you know what I mean? But your mind, even today, my mind is still like, I want to meet an attractive 35 to 38-year-old, ish.
Yeah. Well, listen, reality on reality's terms, as Dr. Drew always says.
Yeah. But hold on a second. Look at Billy Bob Thornton, who is my idol.
Yeah.
How in the hell did he pull? And I mean, when I saw that,
because he's Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah. And so I want to be Billy Bob Thornton.
No, I know, but
Or Danny DeVito.
well, here's the all right, that's a little more realistic. I would say, look, here's the thing: you will get what the market allows. Now, everybody wants a hot 38-year-old when they're 60, but that's rich 60-year-old guys or George Clooney looking 60-year-old guys. That's not you.
No.
So the problem is you got to adjust just like you got to adjust the car you drive. I mean, you go, I would like a Bentley. Okay, so would everybody.
Right.
Now, how much you make a year? $41,000 a year. Okay, no Bentley for you, but I want a Bentley. Well, we just did the math. So here's the deal. You can be carless for long periods of time, or you can go, you know what? There's a Prius over there, formerly owned. It's only 3 years old. It's in decent enough shape. And the guy took care of it, non-smoker. I need transportation. And you learn to love the Prius. That's what I'm saying. Or you just get in some sort of Bentley fantasy, and you end up taking the bus or your Vespa everywhere.
So I've actually kind of I'm looking for someone that at my age is going to be an asset, because I'm the type of guy that I'm going to find somebody and rescue them and fix them. My last relationship with Liz, I tried that, it backfired. So I learned the hard way, you can't fix people. Number one. Number two, you have to let them be who they are. But at the same time, they have to let me be who I am. And who I am is this, 60-year-old with a 13-year-old. Like I spend more money on toys on TikTok every day. I spend my money on things that like a normal adult wouldn't do, and it's almost like I'm refusing to want to grow up. Like I don't want to be 60. I don't want to drink Chardonnay and read a book and fall asleep at 8:00 at night. That's not me.
Yeah, well,
and I don't want
there's
to be
plenty of those guys.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with them at all, but I have nothing in common. I feel, Adam, with anybody my age. Like, I know that sounds, weird.
No, I get it.
But look at me. Like I shower with rats. I'm on TV, and I'm a celebrity. I have to admit that. I have to finally admit I'm a celebrity, and people want to hang out with the person I created, the Big Ed. They don't want to hang out with me, right?
Well, I want to give your wine a plug. By the way.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, because we got to roll in some news in a second here. But the Big Ed Malbec, it is available soon on Amazon, right?
Yep.
And now certain places you can get it. You can California and Florida, Arkansas, I guess.
Walmart's in Arkansas, Florida, and California.
And you can go to Top Shelf Wine and plus spirits.com. Sorry, somebody wrote this in secondhand and it's sloppy.
You guys, 88spirits.com. I think Top Shelf.
Well, Big Ed, we'll take a break. We got to do some news, but come back anytime because it's a fun conversation.
I love it. Let's do it.
Thank you. American financing. Well, let's be honest. The math is not adding up in this economy. Even if you have a job, most families are being forced to rely on high-interest credit cards to cover expenses. If you're a homeowner caught in that cycle, you deserve some relief. Right now, my friends at American Financing are helping homeowners pay off high-interest debt at rates in the low fives. On average, they're saving their customers $800 a month. Start today. You might delay the next 2 mortgage payments. There are no upfront fees or obligations to find out how much you can save. America's home for home loans is American Financing. Am I right, Dawson?
America's home for home loans is American Financing. 866-889-5154. That's 866-889-5154. Or visit AmericanFinancing.net/Adam.
Well, do you love stories of myth and legend? Good, listen up. Before Camelot and The Crown, the Pendragon cycle, Rise of the Merlin, tells the origin story. Watch a legend that shaped Britain in a 7-episode cinematic epic. This isn't a retelling of the King Arthur story. This is the rise of the world that made Arthur possible. The Pendragon Cycle, Rise of the Merlin, streaming now on Daily Wire Plus. Shot across multiple international locations and years in the making. This brings myth to life. It has amazing production value, full-scale battles, and a sweeping original orchestral score. At its core, this is a return to classic epic storytelling. A story where faith, prophecy, and sacrifice truly matter. Stream The Pendragon Cycle, Rise of the Merlin, now, only on Daily Wire Plus.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Ace Man, what do you think ever happened to the barefoot kicker? Punter, place kicker, whatever. I mean, it seems like a bygone era. But I miss those guys coming out in their barefoot in the snow, kicking a rock-hard football. Different times, Ace Man. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah, we came a long way in kicking. We had a kicking shoe back in the day, which is the blunt-tipped kicking shoe they used to wear, and they do straight-on kicking. And then at some point they went barefoot, which is the opposite of one of those kicking shoes, which was flat in the front, like weighted and everything. And now we're back to just shoes. I think shoe technology and the sort of sidewinder soccer stuff ended up, but we have brought back the coffin corner. I've been complaining what happened to the coffin corner with the punters. We took 2 decades off of the coffin corner, putting it out on the 4-yard line out of bounds. We decided to try to float it to the 3, but the ball would bounce and go into the end zone every time. I don't know how much of this you heard, Dawson, but every single goddamn football season, I'd be yelling, coffin corner, put it in the corner, put it in the corner. No return, out of bounds on the 4-yard line, and now it's back.
Now, Alicia is totally clear on Coffin's Corner, but for everyone else, what is that?
Hit it out of bounds in the corner.
Thanks for covering me there, Dawson.
Sorry. No. I said instead of float it and try to drop it inside the 5, kick it out at the 4. It's just a much easier way to do it.
I enjoy watching sports, but I don't know anything about those types of things.
There was a trend
like all of
called
the
the coffin corner. Maybe Ray Guy came up with it. I don't know. But there was a coffin corner, and then it went for like 15 years. And people thought, instead of do that, I'll just kick it real high, and it'll land on the 3-yard line. And then they'll scamper into the end zone, and then they'll get a touchback. But if you fucking kick it out of bounds, they'll get on the 7-yard line, and it will never go into the end zone, you fucking idiots. And now they do it. Anyway, sorry.
Did the Patriots do that over the weekend?
They did a lot of punting, but they never really crossed the 50-yard line, so they couldn't go for the coffin corner.
Such a boring game.
You got to be on the happy side of the 50-yard line to go for the coffin corner, because the ball... It only travels so far, so you can't kick it out of bounds on the 31.
So since we're going through all these sports ball things, is there, when it comes to football, when you're like completely shaded and in a huge stadium like that, is there anything I get that there's something to being like, we want to go first, we want to go second, like if there's overtime, yada, yada. But is there anything to picking which side of the field matters? Like, does that really matter?
Well, if there's, you know what, when I was a captain and I played football, and we're going out for the coin toss, and you got to pick your side, which you only pick if you lose, because if you win, the other side goes, we'll take the ball.
Yeah.
But then you pick your side. Just reach down and you pull up a little grass and you just sort of toss it in the air and you see which way it goes. And
so
if there's any wind
matter?
going, you would go, if it went that way, you'd go, all right, we're going with the wind. So little grass, a little sun, depending on some stadiums
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
as well.
I could see the sun.
All right. What do you got in the news department?
We have some really sad news, especially for my millennial generation and his wife and 6 children. James Vanderbeek, only 48 years old, after a multi-year battle with cancer, has now died.
Oh, he's a good dude. Yeah.
His wife, Kimberly, released a statement saying that they'll share more at a later date, but that he went peacefully and just talked about the sacredness of kind of like things at the end. He had looked really ill more recently on his social media. They moved from the LA area to, I think, the Austin area during COVID and were like living on a farm. I don't know if they're homeschooling and
This
like
Dawson's Creek his biggest thing.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, but I'm a big Varsity Blues guy.
He did do
too.
Varsity Blues, but I feel like Dawson's Creek, at least for millennial moms like myself, like that was a thing.
Well, I starred in episodes. So
I heard that
I'm
you and
well
Dr.
aware of
Drew
that.
starred as yourselves.
He was there sometimes, but I was really kind of the thing there. Yeah.
Just, wow, there you are.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Dr. Drew. Dawson's Creek. Yeah, James was a good dude. I didn't know him well. I remember playing a Dodger All-Star celebrity game with him, and he made a great catch in the outfield, going, up, home runs, stealing, speaking of sports and all that. Was like an athletic guy. Seemed like a really good dude.
I mean, it's LA, so it's a small world, and I had some interactions with him and his wife and their kids, and it just seemed like he was such like a dedicated dad.
Yes.
And like, I think that that's one of the most important jobs in the world. And it's just 48, too young, too soon. Cancer sucks.
Yeah. All right.
All right, now on to politics.
I wanted to play something, actually.
Oh, really?
Andrew, I don't know if you have it, that Swalwell ice tape thing. Eric Swalwell wants to be governor of California. And I get why, but do we have to have just the worst of the worst with everything? I mean, like, they're guys, you can go, well, Shapiro in Pennsylvania, that seems like a moderate, Democrat or whatever, but we got to get the Nancy Pelosi's and the Gavin Newsoms and the Maxine Waters and all the Swalwells and all the
Adam Schiffs.
all the the nuttiest and the worst and the most arrogant with the most attitude who do the least.
Yeah. This guy.
He was, Swalwell wants to run for governor, and he was trying to go at it with one of the lead guys from ICE. His name escapes, and we'll put it on the thing. But let's hear it. Sorry, it's great.
With a woman who works as a cashier at a grocery store, and I told her I was coming to see you.
All right, hold
Mr.
on
Lyons.
a second. Hold on.
Lies.
Okay.
Lies.
First things first.
Lies.
I love the story. A 9-year-old came up to me with tears in his eyes, and he said, "Where's Papa?" And I said, "He's in a cage in Honduras." Like, I love the fake, I love the bullshit tear jerk stories. And by the way, I don't know when the left turned into a telenovela, but everything is just a sad story about a woman with honor and living in dignity. It's like, listen, there's just fucking illegal people here.
Also,
you want to get rid of them. And by the way, their whole thing was, all right, we have to defund ICE,
Yes,
right?
yes.
We got to boycott ICE. We got to abolish
You have
ICE.
to unmask camera,
Okay.
all the things with ICE, yes.
Here's a thought experiment. You want to abolish ICE? We just lived through 4 years of no ICE. We abolished ICE for 4 years. The whole time Biden was president, we had no ICE. Did you hear any ICE stories for 4 fucking years? So we did an experiment. We abolished ICE and we opened the border. And then we got 14 million people here, and now we have to go sort them out and fix it. But we already abolished ICE. It was called the Biden administration, and there was no ICE presence, and there was no border presence. So you got your wish, and it didn't work. We tried defunding the police. Now we're going to defund ICE, but we already tried it. It was 4 years of Biden, and the place is fucking flooded with criminals now.
What's fascinating, though, is even though all of that is true, it's yes, and Biden deported more illegal immigrants than Trump has done so far.
Yes, and
so
then,
it's like
of
heaven
course,
forbid, and there's no But here's why I call BS on this, though.
Hold on, let's hear the story.
You want to hear the story?
Yes, just go back 10 seconds and we'll play it. Sorry.
A couple nights ago, I met with a woman who works as a cashier at a grocery store, and I told her I was coming to see you, Mr. Lyons, and she said, will you ask him and she didn't want to give her name. She was terrified to give her name.
Yeah,
So she
scared.
said, when I get off my shift around midnight and I walk through the parking lot to my car, she said, if somebody rolls up in an unidentified van and gets out wearing all black and their face is covered,
All right,
and they don't
pause
have
it
any...
for a second. First off, I was thinking about it. The unmarked van. It's all unmarked van. It's like panel vans, primer with no license plate. Aren't they renting SUVs? Aren't they fucking in Ford Explorers everywhere? Like, as I've seen
And Yukons.
tons and tons and tons of footage of assholes throwing bricks and frozen water bottles at cars and pulling off and kicking in the side. Are they unmarked vans? Because I'm seeing SUVs. I know you like the theme of the unmarked van.
Of the predatory behavior.
Right, but
of
think
ICE
about
officers.
all the footage you see out of Minneapolis when they're... The guy, Preddy, who when he kicked the taillight...
Ford Explorer, you're
was
right.
that an unmarked van? Or was it a fucking SUV like your mama has? Fucking idiots. It's like, where are they? You show me the footage of the unmarked vans, because every time... somebody, whether you take the two people who died, you take like Preddy and then you take Good, there's SUVs parked all around. There's not unmarked vans.
Way at the beginning, and this wasn't an ICE thing. I think it was a national security thing with Homeland Security Department working with Secretary State Rubio. When Rubio started to rescind the visas of like people that were pro-terrorist organizations, there might have been a person that was put in an unmarked van by masked officers.
But they're gone. So it's not unmarked vans. So fuck off. But anyway, and she doesn't want to give her name to Swalwell. She's scared of Swalwell?
I don't even
What if
think
she
she
gave
knew
her...
who he was.
My name is
I think this is
Dolores
all made up.
Montenegro, but don't say anything to Congress? Like, too scared. I love it when they're talking to the little people, too. I was at the bodega, and I was helping her mop at the end of the night, and she told me. All right, so she's scared at night to go into the parking lot. I would be, too, if I was living in California. I was in San Francisco.
I just thought it was
or
more
any,
like as a woman.
As a woman, I would be
California,
scared living in
be walking
California or
anywhere at midnight.
anywhere in LA to walk at midnight out to the parking lot. But okay, she's scared because... Well, roll it back 10 seconds. Guys dressed, I always like it too. They're just dressed in all black. So did you guys know that the ICE officers dressed like ninjas who just dropped out from the sky? All right, here we go.
Didn't want to give her name. She was terrified to give her name. But she said, when I get off my shift around midnight and I walk through the parking lot to my car, she said, if somebody rolls up in an unidentified van and gets out wearing all black and their face is covered and they don't have any identification and they ask me to get into the van, how do I know who they are? How does she know, Mr. Lyons? How does she know if they're an ICE agent or bad guys?
All right, pause it for a second. What's going on with the bizarre fantasy of the kicking in the doors and pointing at people look different than we like? What? First off, sorry, Alicia Krause, chick think, crazy chick think. Anyone's ever had a woman tell a story for a third time and just stick with it, and you have to go, that's not how it happened. That's not how it happened. That's not what's going on. It's like, nope. I got a theme, and I'm sticking with my theme. Yes, you're making up something that completely and utterly does not exist.
Does not happen. It's also funny. He's like, how is she supposed to know if they're ICE or bad guys? But the left has been telling us for months on end now that ICE are bad guys.
Right, so
They're
there
the
are bad guys.
Gestapo.
The Gestapo. The Gestapo. All right, so okay. Well, all right. He's going to explain. They have badges and patches.
How does she know, Mr. Lyons? How does she know if they're an ICE agent or bad guys?
Sir, ICE agents have identifiable placards on their uniforms as well as their badges representative, but you won't see ICE agents rolling through the parking lots and just snatching someone up. ICE does intelligence-driven, targeted enforcement operations.
Well, Mr. Holman,
hold on. I wonder if Savannah Guthrie's mom thought that was ICE breaking into their house. I mean, just a guy wearing dark clothes could have been ICE.
I mean, they are breaking down doors, we've heard.
Yeah, I mean, well, by the way, it'll be a bad guy if you get pistol whipped and he steals your purse.
Yes.
That's how you know. But yes, guys, as far as I can tell, all the footage. Well, here's
it's also all happened during the day.
Here's a thought experiment. All the asshole Karens in Minneapolis and all the fucking boys with the buns who are attacking ICE, How do they know they're ICE?
Oh,
How do
good
they know they're
question.
not Antifa? Antifa dresses all in black and shows up to these events.
And also covers their faces.
Right. So how do all the assholes in Minneapolis and LA who are attacking ICE know they're attacking the right group? Is it perhaps because they have big markings that say ICE on their uniform? Because if they weren't, and we weren't able to distinguish between the two, then you wouldn't know if you were attacking Antifa or ninjas. Is anyone, when the Preddy guy kicked the SUV, how did he know who was in the SUV? Could have been an Antifa mobile.
Also surveillance. So ICE is doing surveillance. The radical left is doing surveillance.
All right. Swalwell's such a fucking douche. And I don't know why.
I don't even believe him.
I don't believe him at all. But that's the scary part.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. Maybe I'm an asshole. When women do this, I kind of go, all right, little theater. When guys do it, I go, what a pussy. What a pussy. And for me, I would rather deal with a violent alcoholic dude than a pussy. Pussies are the worst dudes. They're the fucking worst. And Swalwell's a pussy, and this is a puss move right here.
I just feel like I don't believe him because even though he's a pretty decently known name within the state of California, or if you're a hardcore news nerd, right? You are out in public all the time. You get recognized.
Yeah.
But you don't get recognized every other person that you see or meet.
No.
This guy, nobody knows who the hell he is. If he's at a grocery store and he's meeting with a cashier,
Mr.
like the lady at
Swalwell-
the cash
Mr.
register is
Swalwell?
not going to see him in plain clothes and be like, oh my God, you're my representative. And I know you're interviewing Mr. Lyons, the head of ICE. Could you please tell him this for me? I call bullshit. That's all.
My name is Dolores, and I work here from 4 a.m. to midnight. And I work at this bodega, and I bag mangoes. And I'm scared because I'm the provider for my family. I'm the breadwinner. Well, we don't buy bread, we buy tortillas. But Mrs. Swalwell,
Bet you
please
she makes
help.
them actually.
Please help. You're going to meet the deputy director of ICE, Rick Solomon. What's his name?
Right.
You know that guy. Yeah. You hear me, Congress? I watch C-SPAN all the time. I recognize you. Please, don't tell him my name. I'm here legally and I have all my paperwork in order. But I'm still scared to walk out to my Tercel every night. Not because of the crime that's rampant in the city. You're doing a fine job. But because the ICE people, because I found out that a lot of them sit in the parking lot at midnight and just wait for people to leave.
I would ask Swalwell what city that was in because he represents a small part of the East Bay area where I grew up.
Yeah.
I don't think he was at Safeway.
No. Mr. Swalwell.
Just saying. More like an Erewhon.
Oh, we have the video of him asking Lyons to resign.
Oh,
Which is good.
gosh.
But again, more just retarded grandstanding.
Supposed to protect, or will you side with the killers bringing terror to our streets? Mr. Lyons, will you resign from ICE?
No, sir, I won't.
Yeah, I'll
Why
resign.
not?
Because, sir, that child that you're showing right there, the men and women of ICE took care of him when his father abandoned him and ran from
Gentleman's
law enforcement.
time has expired.
You never should have gone
Gentlemen's
into
time
custody.
has expired.
They're showing the picture of the kid that was
The
being
5-year-old.
helped by ICE because his dad fled. I don't, whether it's the good people on both sides or in Czech Bleach or something with Hunter Biden's laptop, can you guys just let shit go once you've been proven wrong, or are we just
Yeah,
going to
no.
keep going? With
Because
this?
it's a
ICE has
narrative.
taken care of more children than Somali daycares.
That's a good point.
The count is
Yeah.
at 1.
Yes, but it's still
But
more.
it's still more.
Still 100% more.
Oh, Lord.
All right, let's do one happy or one story, another story.
One story.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's talk about how Chris Cuomo is begging Democrats to not impeach Trump again. I actually agree.
Oh, I
don't-
just talked to Chris Cuomo.
You did?
Yeah.
Did he bring this up with you?
No, he was talking about the Epstein files, which is like I literally go, I have an opinion on everything
Except that.
Except that. I have no idea what's
Yeah.
going on with that. But I have an opinion on you name me 10 types of bagels, I will have 10 different opinions, but I don't have any
Everything
I don't
bagel.
have any Epstein. Yeah. Ugh. All right, go ahead.
All right. So, News Nation anchor Chris Cuomo called on Democrats to resist the temptation to impeach President Donald Trump if they win control of either the House or the Senate in the fast approaching 2026 midterm elections. Obviously, Trump is almost a lame duck. I think he's saying, like, this isn't going to be good for you, but he also said it's not going to be good for the country. I mean, last time they impeached Trump, his his approval ratings went up. When Republicans impeached Clinton, his approval ratings went up. Like, it kind of, no matter who's in power, they're able to somehow like come out in popularity when you impeach them. I don't think it's a smart political move.
Agreed. But also, we have a country that thinks the following. If you prosecute somebody and if you use the court to mete out justice to a person that is truly guilty, we like it. Mm-hmm. If you use it against someone we don't really think is guilty of doing anything, we hate it more than we like the happy side of it. So we have a reaction like, if a guy is accused of murder and he murdered someone, I go, now he's got 100 years. I go, good. But if they try to pull somebody into court because they were 100 feet away from an abortion clinic and they were praying and she's 72-year-old asthmatic mom and we try to fucking railroad her, we get pissed.
We're like that seems
that's
unjust.
Bullshit. And by the way, we feel the same way with the 17-year-old black kid who's accused of murder and never did anything in Mississippi or something. We don't like that more than we like the justice part for the guilty person. So if you're going to try to haul Trump into whatever and the stuff is kind of light, like he lied on his real estate thing, like that kind of stuff, that pisses off most Americans. Mm-hmm. Look at as if you abusing your power and it will backfire. So my thing with if you got something good on Trump, do it.
Yep.
But you never do, and that's why it backfires on you.
100%. And I think it's also it's too confusing.
Yes.
Like the murder case,
right.
The kidnapping case, the heaven forbid, rape case. It's cut and dry evidence, jury, tried by 12. Mm-hmm. When it's impeachment, Russiagate, he was friends with Epstein. He lied on his tax returns. He took money from so-and-so. Did he or did he not pay off somebody? It's so confusing because there's so many details to it that the average person, I think, loses interest because they're confused by it.
Well, also, when you take Mar-a-Lago and you value it at $18 million...
And the place next to it is worth $80 million. And
it's a vacant lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's 1/3 the size.
Yeah.
And there's medium-sized places in Malibu for $18 million. That's insane.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to think that this is sort of cooked, and we really don't like it as Americans.
Yes.
And so my whole thing with any prosecution would be do it if you got something, but if you don't, be prepared because A, you're not going to pull it off, and then B, it's going to backfire on you. All right, what else do we got?
So this is interesting. I have a personal question to ask you. You ever tried drugs?
Yeah.
Okay, I have not. The only thing I do is imbibe in alcohol and every once in a while a cigarette in Spain. But apparently 20 million Americans.
You named your back patio Spain.
Yeah, exactly.
It turns into Spain
after kids. Night out is Madrid.
After the kids go to bed, the back patio gets dubbed Spain.
That's where mommy and daddy go to have a cigarette. Mm-hmm. All right, 20 million Americans say they're always high. And even liberals recognize that this craze has gone way too far.
Listen, everybody, it's not good for you.
No.
And what we did with pot is we gave it magical powers because we made it evil. And when you make something evil, then you kind of turn them into a folk hero. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem with making something evil. You turn it into something it isn't. Pot is a drug. It alters you. Mm-hmm. Look, here's the thing, everyone. You're either altered or you're not altered. I mean, you can call it cocaine alters you, speed alters you, pot alters you. Coffee alters you.
'Tis true.
A lesser degree. A glass of red wine will alter you. A bottle of red wine alters you more. So it's all just a state of alteration. Mm-hmm. I had to do a bunch of shows in Florida the other week. We had a 6:30 flight out of Florida. Our hotel is a half hour from the airport. Mm-hmm. My last show finished at midnight at the club. There was a rental car to drop off and a merch bag to check. I went to bed about 1:30, And
You got a little power nap. That's what you're saying.
Yes, I went to bed at 1:30 and I got up around 4:15 and I met Rudy down the lobby at 4:50 and we went to the airport. I was altered. I did not imbibe anything. I was altered. I was altered more than you are on one glass of wine. The more time you spend in an altered state as a human being, usually the worse sort of condition you're in. And I get sleep deprivation is horrible for you.
They say it's almost as dangerous as drunk driving. Like driving
it is.
tired, like on sleep deprivation.
Yes.
Is almost as dangerous as being a drunk driver.
Obviously depends how much you drank
Yeah.
and how much you didn't sleep and who you are and what your constitution is. But the point is pot alters you. It is not good for you. We turned it into sort of a folk movement. It's not. It sort of reminds me of one of these like civil rights leaders from the 60s where it's like, she blew up a bank and then moved to Cuba. Let's put her on a postage stamp. Like, nope, she's a felon and she's a bad person.
Yep.
Let's not turn her into Billy fucking Jack. And that's what we did with pot. We turned it into Billy Jack. It's not good for kids. Especially not for kids. And it's much more potent than it ever was.
So that's a big thing. The New York Times a while ago, their podcast, The Daily over there, sometimes they do decent deep dives despite being incredibly liberal. And they were talking to scientists, pot growers, companies, users, just how different the strains are now compared to the past. And the past, it used to be like, I don't know, my dad, it's public information, used to, guard the green tops in southeastern Oklahoma.
Really?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Get a little extra cash on the side in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It's so different from that's like dried and rolled and smoked with your buddies versus it's in gummies. It's in, like, they have all different kinds. There's pills, there's drinks, there's food.
Here's what a fantastic job they've done ruining the brains of dumb shits in mostly, for sure in California, but mostly liberal dumb shits. Almost every mother, if you spoke to every single mother in Santa Monica and you said, you get a choice for your son, cigarette smoker, pot smoker, they'd all take pot smoking.
Really?
Oh, yes. Over cigarette smoking?
You think they would? I don't know. I think that, maybe the dumb liberal moms would.
All right. Well, I'll give you the groundling speech after the show. But
sorry.
Yes, they all would prefer cigarette,
like
pot over cigarettes.
Lung cancer.
Cigarettes have been demonized. Pot has not been demonized. Pot has been praised, and cigarettes have been demonized. You can't smoke. By the way, you can smoke pot more places than you can smoke cigarettes.
Yes, 'tis true. 100%.
Right. Okay.
You can smoke pot in more places than you can bring a dog.
Well, I don't know about dog. You can't smoke a cigarette anywhere. You can bring your dog everywhere and you can smoke pot everywhere, which is part of the demise of this country. But the point is pot is bad for you. It scrambles your kid's brain. And everyone in California would rather their kids smoke pot than smoke cigarettes. Yeah. And that means that pot has a publicist. Pot did a very good job of pushing itself, and people don't even think it's bad. And by the way, I'll talk to people. I know people that eat gummies and eat edibles and smoke pot, and if I have a fucking glass of wine, they're like, "Hey, bro, you better watch it." And it's like, you're fucking high right now.
Yep.
You're high right now. Why is it okay for you to be gobbling up your gummies, but I can't have my highball? Like, what's the fucking difference? We're both getting altered. That's what I'm saying.
This is where I'm okay with the self-driving cars and the Waymos, because I think that people in an altered state from pot, I know they've tried to make an argument that it's the same thing as alcohol. I don't agree. Especially the long-term consequences of it. I do not agree.
You do not agree with which part?
That alcohol is just as bad as pot. No. I think specifically with young men whose prefrontal cortex have not formed, the consistent ingestion of pot is so bad. And like you said, it's altering.
The people I know that are really into pot have difficulty. I'll put it to you that way, even when they're not high. And also, the other thing about pot is I don't know people who will drink and drive, but I do know people who will eat pot and drive. For sure. Yeah. They don't even think that's bad or wrong, by the way.
And then really bad things can come of it.
Yes. So 20 million
Americans say that they are always high.
Yeah, always high.
Always high.
That's the other thing, too, is people do not wake and bake with booze. Oh, okay. All right. All right. We should wrap this up because we got even more guests to get to.
Oh, fun.
Nice job. We'll be right back right after that. Sheath. It's simple. Sheath underwear makes the most comfortable briefs I've ever owned. I'm wearing them right now. That's right. Almost every time I'm film this podcast, I'm wearing them, certainly up on stage where you got to be comfortable for an hour and a half. They have moisture wicking technology that keeps everything cool and everything comfortable. They're good for when I'm getting stuff done around the house, but also good for just hanging out. It's their dual pouch technology that really makes the difference. It keeps everything separated down there and thus cooler and more comfortable. I wish someone thought of this when I was doing 10 hours of radio back in the day. Could have been a little more comfortable. Sheath also now has bamboo shirts and hoodies, all designed for maximum comfort. Am I right, Dawson?
Go to sheath.com now and use the promo code ADAM to receive 20% off today. That's sheath.com and use the promo code 80AM for 20% off. Sheath, underwear of legends.
At Pluto TV, we're celebrating Black History Month with our free curated collection of Black entertainment.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Catch award-winning films like Dreamgirls, Monsters Ball, and Selma.
We must make a massive demonstration.
Iconic hits like School Days and Set It Off. Plus full seasons of shows like Tyler Perry's Sisters and Power.
I got you.
It's star-studded brilliant Black entertainment, and it's all free.
It's getting good.
This month and always on Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
It's time for Nicaraguan Name That Movie with Adam's buddy Oswaldo. See if you can guess which movie this famous line is from.
You're gonna eat lightning, you're gonna crack thunder.
If you said Rocky 2.
You're gonna eat lightning. You're gonna crack thunder.
You're correct. Now, back to the show.
Dan and Pat Kinane are on. They're filmmakers. Solo Mio is the name of the movie, out as we speak. Angel Studios, my good friends over there, are the ones doing the distribution. Kevin James stars in this one, as well as many others. Good to see you guys.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, thank you.
I've watched some of your Kevin James Sound Guy shorts, which are super funny and get tons and tons of traction on the internet. I was just watching the No Country for Old Men one. I think it had like 12 million views or something. But and I don't know, I feel like we should play one, but let's describe it. You take a scene from a movie, and Kevin James is the sound guy with the boom mic.
Yeah.
And you insert him into the movie as if they're just talking to the celeb in a sort of ingenious way. But how did that come about, and how did the Kevin James thing come about?
So we were, Kevin was shooting a Netflix sitcom right before COVID. It was called The Crew. So we were down there just to do YouTube, social media, kind of, try to, pump up his social media presence. And so while he was doing table reads, writing, and all this stuff, we were like off on our own in another office somewhere on, Gold Coast?
Gold Coast Studios,
Long Island, yeah. And we were just thinking of we need like some sort of long format that we can like always rely on. Like what's something we can like turn into a series? And we had a bunch of different ideas, but I came up with the idea of like, oh, it'd be funny if like he was this sound operator on all these famous movie sets, and we just plug him in. My brothers, John and Pete, they're really good. They're really, savvy when it comes to like, the superimposing, and I think they taught themselves off of YouTube. Anyways, so we're like, oh, let's just like shoot this and show Kevin and see what he thinks. And we show Kevin, I think we call it like comping.
We would comp stuff. Yeah, we go out and test stuff to show him. Like sometimes instead of pitching him an idea, we would go and shoot it ourselves and edit it. And so I think Rocky, the one where he's in the Rocky movie, was one of the first ones we did for him, and we showed it to him, and he just was like, I loved it. He's like, I can do 1 million of these.
Yeah.
So that's how it came about.
Do you guys have a personal favorite from that series?
I do. I love the Good Will Hunting.
Oh, Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, that's my personal favorite.
We got sneaky favorite.
We got Star Wars. We got Braveheart. No, it's great. What you want is a format and an idea that's got legs, and you're only limited by the 10,000 iconic movies that he could go into. So that part's easy, and then the format's.
Yeah.
The format's fun. And then there's another part, which is it has to be sort of satisfying to watch. Right. And the satisfying part, that's just, we'll know when we see it. You know, all your good ideas, so many times you actually produce it and you just go, nah, not how I thought it would be.
Yeah. That's classic.
Oh, we had lots of those too. Even with Sound Guy, we shot a bunch that no one's ever going to see. Because you think it's a good idea, you go out, you do it, you shoot it, you edit it, and then
actually, I got to change my my favorite. It was it was one that never got released. We actually never shot it. It was Titanic, the drawing scene, where the boom dips down right in front of Kate Winslet.
For obvious reasons, we didn't post that.
We have the Good Will Hunting one. They're about a minute long. I guess we'll put them on our YouTube page. You can watch that. How does it work in terms of YouTube and clearance and movies, and does it fall under some sort of fair use thing?
Yeah, I think it's fair use and parody. Yeah, what we understood it as. Yeah, because if you cut it up enough and change it enough, you can get away with it. As far as I understand.
It's always funny with the parody and the fair use stuff. Is whenever you say to someone, "Well, how long can you?" They go, no one knows. There is no answer. There is. It's like the whatever commission in the 70s. Like, what is pornography? We'll know it when we see it. And then at some point, when you're talking to the fair use guy, they always add the caveat, which is, well, they can sue you anyway. Like, it really doesn't matter who's right and who's wrong. It just matters of how litigious they are. All right, so this is the late great Robin Williams, and the conceit is like the sound guy, they're on the set, but they're not filming. It's like in between takes, right?
Right. Yes.
All right, so here it is.
When she was nervous. She had all sorts of wonderful releases.
He is holding the boom up on this one. Sorry.
Yes. So they're all kind of different.
Right.
Yeah, each one's different. The real thing was just what's the best way to implement him into the scene. Yeah. So a lot of times it's happening as the scene is playing.
Sorry, here it is.
My wife used to fart when she was nervous. She had all sorts of wonderful releases. She used to fart in her sleep. I'm sorry I shared that with you. One night it was so loud it woke the dog up. She woke up and got like, "Oh, was that you?" I said, "Yeah, I didn't have the heart to tell." Oh, God. She woke herself up.
And cut. Oh, that was great stuff. Awesome, Mr. Williams. Oh, Mr. Damon. That was fantastic. You guys are amazing. Hold up, everybody.
Didn't have it on.
I wasn't recording on that. I'm so...
You're kidding.
I'm so sorry. I thought I hit the button. I didn't.
This is a f***ing joke.
Is there any way we could...
Oh my God! And who are these?
Could you just do that again? Can we get one more on that?
I want to hear that. Tell me you want to hear that. What do I got?
I'm such an idiot. This is totally my fault. Everybody, can we get one? Is it one more possible?
Oh, shit, me! I don't blame you. It's not about you, you dick. It's about the boy. He's a good kid, and I won't see you f him up like he's trying to f up me right now.
A lot of that stuff goes back a long way between me and him. Not about you. It's not your fault.
That's amazing visually.
my fault.
Look at me, son. It's not your fault.
It is. Who else is going to press record?
It's not your fault.
It is. It's my fault. It's totally my fault.
No, you don't. It's not your fault.
I'm telling you, it is. I wish it wasn't. We're here, aren't we?
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
This technology's incredible, man.
It's not your fault.
He's wearing MMA gloves.
It's not your fault.
That's actually my head. That's my body.
I'm sure this one is a human being with the hug. Wow. How do you do the backgrounds?
Oh, that's all green screen. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of as I think about it, it's kind of the inverse of an early version of this, which was, well, you guys have done some work with Adam Sandler. It's the one where George C. Scott is watching the Adam Sandler movie. Have you ever seen that one?
I have.
It is so. You guys of all people will love this. So there was a movie called Hardcore, which was one of those real 70s gritty movies. Like we made really, you guys are too young, but like a lot of those Dog Day Afternoons and just a lot of those mid-early 70s movies were really weird. They looked smoggy and gritty and dirty, and it was like New York and garbage everywhere and tenement slums, like abandoned buildings and stuff. And it was real Taxi Driver kind of stuff. Like like you want to take a shower after the movie. And Hardcore was a George C. Scott movie where his daughter came out to LA and got recruited into pornography. And he's trying to find her. And he doesn't know if she's in this movie or not. And he has to go into a porno theater in the 70s and sit alone and watch a porno film to see if his daughter pops up. And she did, and it destroyed him. But instead, they were showing in the movie, in the bit they're doing, they cut in Adam Sandler's Jack and Jill. And I'll show it to you just because it will make you guys laugh. And I'll bet Adam Sandler thought it was funny too. But it starts with George C. Scott sitting alone in a small movie theater.
Oh my God, dude.
Now the projection started.
Yeah.
You already love it, right?
Yeah.
He just weeps at the end. That's the greatest, right?
Yeah, like obviously, we didn't come up with that idea. Like we were inspired by those videos you see all the time, where you see people are editing themselves into whatever, different movies, different or viral moments, and that was kind of the, we want to do our own take on it. That's kind of how the sound guy came up. But that stuff cracks me up.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, nothing.
It's the reactions, right? It's all about the reactions, the pre-recorded reactions.
it's the idea. I mean, that's the great part about a funny idea is when you kind of stumble onto it and you just kind of go, oh yeah. Like it's that way with a joke, just a joke where you kind of, when Jerry Seinfeld is at the supermarket and he goes, the hot dogs come in a 8-pack and the buns come in a 6-pack. And then his brain goes, oh, a joke. You know what I mean? Like he holds them both up, right? Like that little moment. But you're not really inventing anything or reinventing anything. You just figured, like it's almost like a math equation. O'Reilly. Yeah. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Well, they're in the business of keeping your car on the road. They offer friendly, helpful service and all the knowledge you need to keep that car rolling along. And if I can't figure something out in my car, I just call them. They're always my first call. But they've got thousands of parts in stock and can test your battery for free. Need wipers, brake light, or quick fix, they'll get you the right part. Everyone who works there is knowledgeable and they're friendly. The professional parts people at O'Reilly are your one-stop shop for DIY auto stuff. Whether it's in-store or online, you always got to go with O'Reilly. Am I right, Dawson?
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit them at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
Homes.com. Some might say Homes.com is the best home shopping site. I would say that. It may be Homes.com's super comprehensive and transparent agent directory, or maybe it's that Homes.com is the only site that always directly connects you with the listing agent who knows the home the best. Perhaps it's because Homes.com has the most in-depth neighborhood content of any home shopping site that's extensively researched to highlight the personality of each neighborhood. Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth info they need to find the right home. Homes.com. That's Homes.com. We've done your homework. Kevin James strikes me as a really good dude. I've talked to him a little bit, but I wouldn't claim to be friends with him.
No, he's awesome. Yeah, he's really funny, and I mean the movies he's done are great. Along with I mean, this might be a hot take, but I actually think Jack and Jill is a great movie. I remember seeing it in theaters when I was little. I loved it.
Well, watch it again as an adult now. See how you feel.
Thinking about that dad in the theater.
Yeah.
I'll be thinking about the dad watching both.
Yeah, by the way, that was Peter Boyle who ran the porno theater. That was Young Frankenstein. That was the dad from Everyone Loves Raymond, right? That was the guy, the projectionist who came around the corner for a second was the late, great Peter Boyle, who was in all those movies back then, too. But, yeah, James, sorry.
No, yeah. So Kevin is, he's so funny when we're in the room developing stuff, and he knows his audience. He's like, yes, I can do this. No, I cannot do this. But some of the things that we come up with that we can never shoot because it just maybe it's too ridiculous or just too far out there. But he's so funny, and so it makes the process that much more fun. It's what I mean. It's definitely a stressful process, writing, developing, even, and then down the road editing. But yeah, working alongside him, it's like you're just shooting the shit with your buddy,
You guys shot in Italy, I'm guessing, or it looked like it.
No,
we were in Rome and Tuscany we were living there for 4 months, I think.
Yeah.
How are they over there? Are they hospitable? Do they give you tax breaks? Do they try to invite you in production?
Yeah, I don't know what the tax rates are, but I mean, it's definitely they've got great crews there. I mean, they shoot there all the time. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the people living there was so cool. It was really, really cool to be able to kind of put yourself and live in that culture for a while. I feel like life is so much slower over there than it is over here.
Yeah,
which is nice. I mean, you go out to dinner and it's a 4-hour ordeal.
Yeah, I mean, you also pick up on things too. You find a little inspiration. I don't know if you remember in the cafe scene where Kim Coates and Allison Hannigan are ordering coffee, and she gets handed a cup of ice and a glass of milk. And she's like, "What the hell is this?" He's like, "Drink it, you ordered it," And it's, for anyone that's experienced ordering a iced latte in Rome, they just give you a cup of ice and a glass of milk.
Good.
It's not the same thing as it is in the States.
I like Kim Coates a lot. Kim Coates, let's see, maybe, I'm trying to think. Now, a deep Kim Coates cut, I think, is Waterworld.
Yeah.
Because he was great in Waterworld. Waterworld.
That's a deep pull. That's funny.
deep
Someone
pull.
just said that to us today. They saw the movie Solo Mio, and he's like, all I could think about was Kim Coates in Waterworld.
He was great in Waterworld. And Waterworld is a great movie. People talk a lot of shit. Black Hawk Down, of course.
I love that movie.
Great movie. Super dusty. I have trouble with dusty movies. That's why I like Waterworld, because there's no dust in it. Black Hawk Down was dusty. I used to work construction, so I have these weird flashbacks to dust. You know.
I mean, so did we. I think that was my comfort place.
Construction site.
Well, not full construction, carpentry. So.
Carpentry.
Yeah, we grew up. Our dad's a carpenter.
What?
Yeah.
What kind of carpentry?
He's got he's like the old school, like does everything. I mean, he builds houses. You know, he built our house growing up. The house we grew up in he built that. Our brother Mike is also a carpenter, so they work here in town. We live in a small town. Yeah, like building houses.
Man, we could talk.
Yeah,
and you guys grew up like working summers, framing, and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, year round. Yeah, we that's all we did. Our roofing in August and July. August, brutal.
Yeah, that's all I did too.
Yeah.
I think a dad that built the house you grew up in is a pretty good story. You know, like that's
it's definitely not haunted, which is nice.
It's a point of pride. I like that stuff. It's kind of mom cooking for Thanksgiving versus ordering, you know, a big food order at Sprouts or something, and dad building the house you're in is pretty good stuff. You know,
we had a really, really great childhood. Super blessed.
That's good. And I should ask. So I do a little survey about your mom. Well, one's mom, not just your mom, but everyone's mom. And you can talk a lot about a mom about, you know, what did she do, or did she teach you piano, or did she hug you a lot, or was she there for the Little League games? But it's too scattered. So I've narrowed it down to, was she a good sandwich mom or bad sandwich mom? Because if she's a bad sandwich mom, she's universally bad. She's not a horrible sandwich mom and your biggest fan at every Little League game. She's horrible at sandwiches and she never showed up to the Little League game. But if she's a great sandwich mom, she's also in the stands wearing your jersey number. See,
she's the best, greatest sandwich. Yeah, she was a great chicken pot pie mom too. Yeah, she did. She insane cook.
What was she do a chicken pot pie from scratch?
Oh yeah. Make her own crust. That was.
Oh, she'd roll out her own crust and like crimp it on top.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The best. No, she used to make so much bread. Like she'd make like loaves and loaves of bread. So good. So I'm real fat. Yeah.
You're not, by the way. People aren't watching this, but so what was her sandwich? Now again, I stumbled on this, and my mom was a no sandwich mom, so I got a 0. Dr. Drew's mom was a shit sandwich mom, which he got shitty sandwiches, but she was a shitty mom. It worked out. Like I had the 0 sandwich mom, and she was consistent. Drew had a shit sandwich mom, was shit. Andrew in the other room had one. When Drew found out that Andrew's mom toasted the bread for his sandwich, he went out of his mind. Drew didn't even know that was an option. Now, what is that? All that is more effort toward you. The toasting of the bread. It's a little extra work, but guess who's worth it? You are.
Standards were like, you know.
What? So your mom made the bread?
Oh yeah, she made the bread. She made the sandwiches. Yeah, like I said, just the standards are so high, so spoiled. You know. Yeah, she actually at one point she had a bakery for a little while.
Wow.
She made pies, cakes, bread, sandwiches, pastry, all that. Yeah.
And so, what was her sandwich? What was her best sandwich?
She did it all. One that I really love that I remember really well is just a classic turkey sandwich, you know, like but loaded up with everything, you know, like she used to do this thing where, because there's 10 of us, right? So, you know, grew up in a family of 10. So anytime we go out and about, she would always go to the grocery store. She'd grab a bunch of rolls, a bunch of like just cold cut turkeys, mayo, lettuce, all this stuff, chips, drinks. And she would just like in the back of the van, just start making sandwiches in the back of the van, handing them out wherever we were. Yeah.
Wow. And so you guys, you didn't grow up rich, but you had that base. That's solid base.
Rich in our environment, strong family. Everyone loves each other, super close. And
we grew up 100 feet from my grandparents.
Yeah.
So they were always around.
How much of that is religion?
All of it.
All of it?
That's why there's 10 of us Irish Catholics.
How'd you hook up with the Angel guys? And did you guys, because I work with the Angel guys and they're great and they're in Provo and I've shot some dry bar stuff with them and so on and so forth. But the question is, they acquire things that have already been made, which is a lot of what they do. And then they produce other things, they fund and that kind of stuff. What was your relationship on Solo Mio?
That was all through Kevin. We had shot the movie independently with Kevin and the two producers, Jeffrey Greenstein and Mark Fasano. And then, when we edited the movie, then Kevin brought it to Angel. That was kind of the connection.
And Angel was like, we're going to put this in theaters. And we're like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
3,000.
Yeah. They're like, it's going to be a nationwide release. And we're like,
did they
anything we could have dreamed of?
Did they have to put it through their board? Did they?
The guild.
The guild. It's a little nerve wracking. They have a large group of subscribers and they have a guild and they give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Right?
Yeah. That's pretty unique. It was actually really. It was our first collaboration with Angel, and it was really cool. We were down in Florida with Kevin this past March. March of 2025. And he was, wanted to show it to Jordan and Jeff Harmon and some of the guild members there. And it was a rough cut. It was like there was no sound, no color, no VFX. It was really rough. But the edit was almost locked in. So we showed it to, I don't know, maybe 100 people. And immediately after the film ended, I think it was Jordan turned to me and my brother Chuck and my brother John, who co-wrote it with me and along with Kevin. And he goes, "Who the hell wrote this?" And we're like, kind of like nervously, like, "We did, sir." And he's like, "Who directed it?" And then I pointed to my right, my brother Chuck's there, and he goes, "We need this." He's like, "We need this." I was like, "Wow." I was like, "All right, cool." I was like, "I guess it went over well." And then like 20 minutes later, after all the Angel Guild members took a survey and we got the test results in, it scored like a 94 or 5% amongst the audiences, and we're like, all right, like I think we got something that people are gonna like,
Yeah, I'm so happy that the Angel guys are doing what they're doing, and guys like you and there are others now that have gotten sort of broken free of the shackles of Hollywood. But it's nice that there's an alternative format for movies and stand-up and drama, and like there's just a whole separate area now that you can go to and make a living.
I think one thing we've learned from working in this industry, not even just the industry, but like on a creative level, it's like you're never going to please everyone. So why, it's kind of a pointless thing to try to achieve. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not gonna please everyone. And I think we've kind of learned that, and we're like, we're gonna do what we like, and that's kind of gonna be that's where we draw the line. We're like, all right, this is what we like. Let's just commit to it.
I wonder if there's going to start being like alternative Academy Awards and Emmys and stuff like that, because the position that's still in place is there will be no Academy Awards or Emmys or Grammys or Sundance for anything that they don't approve of. But they're sort of sinking their own ship, and now there's all these alternative studios. But I wonder if there's going to be alternative award shows coming up.
The Angel Guild Award.
Yeah, I mean,
another halftime show
with a 95. Yeah, Kid Rock presents.
No, that's why we're so grateful for Angel Studios, because a movie like this, like Solo Mio, like anyone else probably would have put it straight to streaming, you know? The fact that they took a rom-com and put it to theaters. I mean, when was the last time there was a rom-com in the theaters like this? You know, a rom-com of this style, you know. So, yeah, I mean, it's incredible what they're doing.
Well, it's in theaters, and at 3,000, that is a large release. So it's probably in a city, in a town, in a theater near you. Pat and Dan, come back whenever you got a new project. Fun talking to you guys. Well,
yeah, it's great. Thanks for having us.
Bring your dad on next time. I want to talk framing.
Yeah.
Dan.
He probably wouldn't say much, but he'd nod and smile.
Oh, I know. He's a quiet man like John Wayne. Thanks, guys. All right. I want to thank Alicia Krause for coming in here and taking care of business, and Big Ed as well. I'm going to be in Texas February 27th, 28th, 2 shows each night at Hyenas Comedy Club. You go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. And until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Pat and Dan and Big Ed and Alicia saying mahalo.